There we go. Let's try this again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are out there. Welcome back to the live stream. I think we've got the audio fixed now. Let me know there, chat room. Much better, says Jean Valjean. Thank you so much. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is February 2nd, 2020.
Greetings, my excellent
Yeah,
friend.
there we go. All right, much better. Thank you. I appreciate your patience there. I'm not at home. I'm on the road. I'm here in Stockholm. I had been testing and running all of my gear, and things were working just fine until I hit start about 20 minutes ago, and it turned out I needed to restart OBS over here. Oh my goodness. There, how's that better? Groundhog says early spring, says Eternal Dev Coder. Yeah, the groundhog way back in home in Pennsylvania. I'm not there, but that's where it is. And things are a little bit dark here already. It's getting dark outside, and I've got the lights on in the room here, but it's not bright. We'll deal with that because we're going to head over. We're going to be spending most of our time in code today. How's it going, chat room? This is Stockholm, and I'm broadcasting at 1080p, 60 frames a second over hotel Wi-Fi, and I'm getting more than 400 megabits a second. Bandwidth here in Sweden is insane, and I love it. It's great. Thank you so much to our hosts, the fine folks here at Svitug, and we're gonna have a great time this week. I should be streaming tomorrow actually at 10 a.m. from the conference, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Stockholm time. I'm going to reference Stockholm time because that's where I am this week. And we'll be streaming a couple other times through the week. Keep an eye on the schedule. Keep an eye on my Twitter, and you'll see when I'm going to be streaming here. But I'm definitely going to be, I'll definitely be here throughout the week, streaming and keeping up and having a good time with you. BB says, you can't hear me tell you the date. Yes, I can. You can hear me. I can see the gauge going here. It looks like we're just fine on the output to the PC. 4 p.m. where Fretia is as well. Very cool. All right. So I wanted to get in and talk a little bit more. There are two things that I want to experiment with today. I want to talk about and chat room. I want to get your feedback. I want to make sure that I'm not completely off my rocker on this. Now, I have a hard stop at 6 p.m. Stockholm time. So that's going to be noon Eastern. And I have a dinner to get to, a speaker dinner for the event that I need to make sure I get to. But I want to make sure that we spend some time together talking about Blazor, talking about some of these interesting little tests that I've been running. So I have a couple pull requests sitting out here for the project, contributions from viewers I want to take a look at. And then we will get in and start working on. I want to see what happens with master pages. I did some exploration of what it is to convert a master page to a layout in Blazor. So we had master pages that defined our layout in ASP.NET Web Forms. And in our project, when we get to Blazor and the modern, latest and greatest user interface framework here, we have what are called layouts. So I want to explore the difference between those two. Like I said, I tested a little bit while I was on the plane. I want to show you, chat room, what we've got and get your feedback. And then I want to look at what's involved in putting Blazor WebAssembly inside of a WebForms project. Almost go inside out there. So if we take a page, right? If we take a page that's a WebForms page that lives inside of a layout and we turn it into a Blazor component, host that Blazor component then inside of a WebForms application. Really turn things inside out. It's a little bit crazy, but I think we can make it work, and it'll be interesting. It'll be compelling. This is, my gosh, I'm trying to turn my, oops, that's not it. I'm trying to turn my my ISO up all the way here. No! Now it's completely gone. I'm trying to get things brighter here, and it's just, that's as bright as I'm going to get it looks like. So that you can at least see my face, even though you don't really care when we get over to the code, right? I know. So it'll be a little Inception-y with how we're going to try and re-nest things. So, chat room. Let's get some music playing. We're going to head over to the project and get involved there. So, of course, I'm going to turn on some music to code by from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. I actually had a glass of wine with Carl last night. He's here at the event as well. Always great to see him and thank him for music to code by. Today we're going to listen to Gold. This is Gold from Music to Code By. Check it out at musictocodeby.com. Each one of these songs is 25 minutes long, and it's scientifically designed to get you in the groove, get you in the flow, so you can get focused and get whatever task it is you're working on done. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com, or you can execute the music command in the chat room right over here, and it'll give you a link so you can get your copy today. Let me turn up that sound. There we go. Thank you, Eternal Dev Coder, for executing the music command. See, right there. All right. Let me head over to the project, and I want to talk to you about this. Well, let's first merge our pull requests that we have from some of our friends. This is when you say the indent. This is when we have the indent.
And then?
Let's take a look at MasterPages.
And then?
There you go. Let's see if we can do this turn inside out and put Blazor inside of WebForms and what that means. All right? So,
and then?
See, there it is. There's the and then. All right, let me head over to the project and set up all my sound effects here so I can click through onto things.
And then?
But hopefully you see, there it is. There's the code. All right. Now, I've got the same... why do I have the same bank of sound effects on both of these Stream Decks? I brought 2 of the 4 Stream Decks with me. So, my friend Jimmy Engstrom is very interested in see how I use these. All right, let's take a look. This is our BlazorWebFormsComponents project. We've got 3 pull requests out here. I have logged into the Octotree plugin over here. So you give it an API key and it'll turn on all kinds of features that you can do, like GitHub dark mode. So this looks pretty cool. I was reversed. I purposely had it reversed, right? So that I could point to and look at chat room, and I was looking at chat room on that previous screen. So let's take a look at the 3 pull requests we have out here, see if this is something we can merge real quick. And I want to show you the question that we have out there that we'll address as well. So let's get everything current, share with you what's going on here. So this is correct the integer spelling from Kabazi. And if I look at the list of files, it's pretty straightforward. Integer is integer, and it looks like it just went through and did a file rename here. And it looks like, right, I love seeing this. All it is a bunch of file renames. So that's perfectly fine for us to merge and take that as one change here. There we go. And merged in. Fantastic. Thank you, Kabazi, for fixing that spelling there. It's easy to make a mistake in the naming of a file. He's also given us a request here for use test async for our WebForms events tests. And there's one file that was changed here. So instead of having the fixture run a test, he's changed it to test async because we're doing a dispose async here. We want to make sure we can await it instead of that. And all of the tests passed on this, so this is pretty easy for us to once again go through and merge. Fantastic. So, too good, just clean up types of commits here. Taking a look here. SMAB, not from the EU today, in Europe, but not the EU. Yeah, Brexit happened over the weekend. It was kind of weird. I had had some friends that were flying from the NDC London event here to Stockholm. They had to go through passport control. I didn't, because I flew through Madrid first. So I went through passport control in Spain and flew to Stockholm. Didn't have to deal with that when I got here. Hey, Kabazi, just taking a look at your the couple of changes that you have here. This is the range validator. So if we take a look, there's one commit here with 8 files, and we can see if we over here we can see there's changes. Right, we have the compare validator and the range validator. It looks like added a bunch of lines here inside of our control samples to show those. Okay. And I mean the syntax for this, if I remember correctly, this looks the same. So you added a compare validator sample. Here's a range validator sample. That syntax really looks the same. I love seeing that. Because, right, that's the goal. We want to get the web form syntax as close as possible to work in Blazor. So added a couple more import statements for the enums. That's fine. Added to the navigation menu the new samples. Cool. And updated the base compare validator. Right? Base compare validator. Added 55 lines. I thought that we had that already. Oh, you refactored it back. Okay. So that the range validator becomes a very simple set of code. There it is. Am I reading that right? It just becomes a base compare validator. Nice, with a minimum and maximum value. Very cool. I love being able to refactor and delete some code from one and share it across both. That's really neat. So, the only question I have, the only thing that I see here is, before I merge this, can you give me just a couple unit tests to go along with the range validator? The compare validator passed tests, because I know that one has tests to go with it. But can we get some range validator? And I'm just going to put a quick comment on that. Before I merge, can you please add some unit tests for the range validator? And that should be pretty easy to add in there. The rest of the code looks solid. I love seeing the samples, and we'll get that merged in once we have some accompanying tests. Now, there was an issue that was opened by our friend Hisham about having some problems restoring packages inside of the project. Hisham's used to opening a repository and just running .NET restore. It restores all the packages, and you can run the project and away you go. So, what URL doesn't look quite right? Brutal Swede. So, not a problem, Kabazi. I appreciate the work that you've done there, and we can take some time. We don't have a complete rush on these, but that is great stuff. Yeah, Brutal Swede. What? Oh yeah, look at that. That URL isn't quite right. Why didn't it put a space in there? Let me come back to your question in just a minute there, BarkQD. Let me queue that up. We'll take a look at your question in just a second. I want to finish looking at, yeah, there should be a space in there, Brutal Swede. So, Hisham was having a problem because Hisham's used to running a .NET restore when you clone a repository and then being able to run the project. So what I've done is I've added a NuGet config to the project folder. Let me check out the dev branch. I did this in the dev branch so I can push it down into the other branches. So you can see I added a NuGet config. Now NuGet config allows you to specify, among other things, the repository locations that you're fetching packages from. But you can also specify where to store the repository of packages for .NET Framework projects. So our before WebForms sample project was looking for packages in the source folder here. So if I look in the source folder, we've had this packages folder here that it's been trying to find. Now this is a pretty appropriate place for it, and it gets ignored by our git ignore file. So I wanted to make sure that you could .NET restore and get that file there. Additionally, I moved the solution file for the project right here to the root of the folder. This way you see it, it's right there when you open the repository. You can .NET restore from the root of this, and everything restores properly across all 6 projects that we have. So that's a handy thing to be doing. That's a handy thing to make it more F5able, to make it easier to queue up those types of that interaction, right? So you can easily find what's going on here. So let me take a look back over here at some of the questions. Mason Talks Code asks, hey, what are you doing in Stockholm? Just joined. I'm here for the Svitug conference. I'm going to be speaking there tomorrow. I'll be hosting a panel as well. And Wednesday night, there is a Coding After Work meetup that I'll be at. And I'll be teaching folks how to stream live on Twitch. Pro streamer right here. I've even got the Twitch shirt on, so it must be real. And I'll be there talking about all the cool things about how this is configured, how this is set up, and if I get everything set up right, I'll even stream it. So keep an eye open. We may have that set up it'll be Wednesday evening here in Sweden, but Wednesday afternoon for folks in North America. BartQD had a question for us, asking, saying they're a lawyer but want to jump into software engineering, learned quick Python so far. Do you have any suggestions? So Python's a great language to learn to get started with, because it doesn't enforce too many standards. It's also dynamic, so you don't get the what some folks perceive as mean feedback from a compiler saying, oh, you have the wrong capitalization, oh, you don't have this, that you're referring to a wrong type here. I'm a big fan of .NET. I love the .NET programming languages. I've used VB for more than 20 years, C# for almost 20 years, because it hasn't been out for 20 years yet. And I've been trying to learn F#. .NET will get you development everywhere. You can develop on every platform. Python is really good for folks that are trying to do things with big data, with data science. There's tremendous features and capabilities there. Check out Jupyter Notebooks. You can build Jupyter Notebooks, a web page that has interactive code embedded on it that you can build inside the browser with Python. You can also use .NET with that now. My colleague Maria helped build that. I think besides Python, a good language that a lot of folks learn is JavaScript, because it works in the browser. Everybody has it in the browser. You don't have to recompile or anything. I would definitely learn JavaScript. There's a lot of idiosyncrasies that go with that, but I would go spend some time with JavaScript, spend some time with web development, and I would get into the .NET languages. Horses love JavaScript. You might not have known that, but horses do love JavaScript. But check out, get into a strongly typed language. C# and .NET, you can build games, IoT devices, cloud services, desktop applications, mobile applications. You name it, you can build with it, and that's why I encourage folks to check that out. No offense to Java or PHP or some of those other languages out there. That's my preference. Thank you for the host, Gareth. Enjoy seeing that. How long have I been using F#? Yeah, Gareth, I've been trying to make my way back to learning F#. It's going to take me some time to get back in the trenches there, learning and spending time trying to become a better F# developer. You're welcome, BartQD. Best of luck to you on your software development learning journey. And folks like me and the other live coders like Gareth are here answering questions and streaming, and hopefully good place that you can hang out and learn more from folks while they're writing code on stream. You have an idea for me. A flappy look to my microwave. Okay. With a name like that, I've got my finger on the ban button here. Go ahead. Write some code. What a great idea. Let's write some code. But I want to make sure I answer questions from our viewers while we're going along here. All right. So let's head over to. I want to talk to you about the this spike that I was doing. This investigation around developing and writing code to take care of master pages as layouts inside of Blazor. So I wrote a branch. I started a branch here called Spike Master Pages. Let me check out that branch. Spike. There we go. I'm going to merge in the changes from dev so I get git merge dev. There we go. So I get all that stuff in here. What did I break? What did I change? The NuGet config. Really? What's it got in there? That's fine. Yeah. Merged NuGet config. Fantastic. What do you mean not staged? Typos. Love it. Yeah, why didn't it add it? Why isn't that queued for... No changes added to commit. And it's still not adding it. That's weird. Still doesn't like. What? I don't. Why are you misbehaving for me here? What if let's do this. Get rid of that. Right? Ah, there were two of them. And now if I get reset hard. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. I've got... How do I have two NuGet configs? Right? Yeah, now it's saying that I've deleted two files. Okay.
Oh my.
Right? I don't want to just flat delete the other file. If I get reset, what do I have? I should have a NuGet. There, NuGet config. That's the only one there is. I'm not going to worry about this because this project file is going to go away in just a little bit. Merged NuGet config. If I try that, yeah, it doesn't. Oh boy. See, look, it sees the name. What if I'd rename that? Right? Now does it match? Nope, doesn't like it. Wow! Wow! I could whack the local branch. But the local branch actually doesn't have a remote. It's not tracking. At least I don't. Oh no, it is because it's got, right? So let's go back one. Yeah. And if I try and reset hard, nope. Do a reset hard here. Okay. Get rid of the spike. Track, spike, master pages. Yeah, I did. And why didn't you? What the heck? No, I'm not on a case sensitive. I'm up to date. And when I track, right? Yeah, it's gone. I thought I had a remote branch there. All right. I wrote a lot there, and it's gone. Is there a way to undelete a branch? Because, oh man. Git reflog, find the SHA one for the commit, and git checkout. Alright, so let's git reflog and see if we can find it. Right, so I should be able to get... this one. Right? Because what I had... Let me show you. Yeah, there it is. Okay, now git checkout, spike, master pages. And I've still got this -1 here, right? And it's for that NuGet config. If I delete it and remerge it back over, I should get it back. Yeah, it is such a boon to productivity until you crush yourself. Right, git protection, right? This is source control. This is why we have source control. Man, I can't get it any brighter in here, can I? Yeah, push all the local branches to the server. I don't want to do it until I get this one resolved here, right? Git reset hard, and it won't get rid of that NuGet.config. Now it tells me that 2 are missing. If I commit that and rebuild the NuGet config file, I should be all right. Rebuilding NuGet config. Okay, I got rid of it. Let me go back to dev. There it is. Now it's there. Git add. Git push origin spike master pages. So I have it. So I keep it. Right? There it goes. Whew.
Wait, let me explain something to you.
Oh, and it's not tracking it. What is it to write the Git branch to set up tracking? Yeah. Git branch track origin. And that should, no. Is that gonna work? Yeah, I know it does. No. How's it going, Robert Tables? No. Folks can't hear me in the other rooms. Set up stream 2. That's what I want. Or -u. So git branch. Set up stream 2. Right? I don't know. I should be able to say equals origin like that, right? What do you mean doesn't exist? Fantastic. Oh my gosh. All right. No, you can't, One Love. This is a family-friendly and inclusive stream. You should have seen that when the rules came up. We don't say things like that. So thank you for the follow. Don't need to push it. I've got the marks here that indicate it's the same, right? If I git push, it goes to the same place. Now, the other thing that I want to make sure that you know that I've done, I now have a version of the project running in my organization under my repository name so that I can work there before pushing to the shared location. This way, I'm not just overriding what other people are working on here. So, I think I'm in a good place now to go back and talk about, let's start talking about master pages. The whole reason that I went into this in the first place. Let me close my extra Visual Studio that I had open here. This one. Now we got to reload. So, in ASP.NET WebForms, way back in the day, we had master pages, right? And if you look at the before WebForms here, there is site master. And this made a lot of sense to build because then you had over here, let me bump the font size there you go. You could wrap all your HTML, your head, your body with all those things that you were going to need typically on most pages. And because of the way that WebForms worked, your inner page...
FR33 man raided my stream with 12 viewers.
Freeman! Thank you so much for the raid. Hello. My goodness, thank you for the interrupt there. Yes, you can defend. You can certainly defend the channel. ! Defend. Good to see you, Freeman. Let me make sure. Let's do this. I like to make sure. Freeman's another one of the live coders, just like Copper Beardy. I saw him up there. Let's make sure that that's not the right command. There we go. Want to make sure that the live coders have VIP badges or moderator badges here in the channel. Thank you so much for sending folks over. Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Jeff Fritz, and we're working on some Blazor components. That's C# and HTML components that compile and can run on WebAssembly in the browser, or also on a server, get rendered and delivered for your web users. We're building these components that look and feel like the old ASP.NET web forms. So we're doing this interesting conversion and update so that the concepts you had in web forms still work and behave great in Blazor. What were you working on over there, Freeman? Let us know. There's Copper Beardy, another member of the Live Coders Now, I added the VIP and it didn't put the badge on you there. So thank you for bringing over a bunch of folks from your channel. All right. So this is a master page in ASP.NET Web Forms, and we were talking about this has all of that basic layout stuff that you're going to put around your pages. But right, and it has layout. Here's a nav bar in the default one that we have here, and some footer information. But you had this concept in Web Forms of a content placeholder. And that content placeholder is this is where all of our stuff goes. And we have the same concept in Blazor, but we call it a layout. So how do we get layout and master pages to reconcile so that we can do the same thing in both? And now I'm realizing I did want to have that second Visual Studio open. I know this is kind of like, this is deadly, opening two Visual Studios. So I'm going to open a project that I had here. Inside of the project, under the docs, I had migration. Is it migration? No. Where is it? Strategies, samples, master pages. Here we go. So let me show you what I started doing to try and emulate and get the same thing running in both places. And I want to get your feedback, chat room, to make sure that I'm doing something right, that I'm going in the right direction here. Man, I wish I had more light in this room. Marco8137 asks, here, let me put your message up here on the screen so that our viewers on the recording can see this. Marco asks, what's my favorite programming language? You guess from my username, it's C#. C#'s been very good to me. I've been able to put my kids through school, been able to buy a house, all those types of things that as a career really helps. I really enjoy C#, but it's built on top of HTML. So if I really had to say, what's been my favorite, I would say HTML. But that's not really a language, right? That's a markup. Programming language, absolutely, C#. I'm blessed that I'm able to work with the C# team. The folks that invented C#, I'm lucky that I get to talk to them and learn directly from them about some of the features here. But for the duration of my career and my time in school, I'm a big fan of HTML. I'm a child of the web. I love building and working with the web. So that would be my answer to the question. Thank you, Marco, for that question. And happy to take a second there to show you. Try light mode, says Kabazi. You're not wrong. We could go to light mode here. So, all right, let me show you what I started doing here. So this is a project called MasterPages. It's a Blazor project that I want to look and feel and do a little bit of the master page thing. The challenge here is when you have a master page, right, it has all the HTML stuff on the outside. Well, inside of Blazor, we have some sort of a host page, like this one, that ends up getting all of that stuff, the stuff that you're using to host, and you end up with this app directive that kicks off where that placeholder is, and we're going to start to insert. And that's not even the same placeholder, right? You can have multiple placeholders on your master page, but inside of a layout, you have a typical content placeholder that's your main content. So, yeah, you could spend 15,000 Fritz bits, sure, and force me into light mode. If I can go to light mode, that might help a bit here. Sure, let's do that. Go to the theme. Here, change these to blue. Might help with a little bit of brightness. Come on. That's a little bit better. I got this wonderful glow. We'll stay with light mode, I guess, for a little bit. So, inside of Blazor, all of these other things up to where the content placeholder is are actually right, from the body down, right, is actually done inside of a layout page. So if I go back over here and we look at main layout, right, here's where there's my side menu bar that's these things. And then I have my top bar, my body, and I could put a footer below that if I wanted to. And that's what's being rendered as my layout. And that host page, I could certainly put some of this over here inside of it, but this is a host page, and it behaves slightly different for slightly different in Blazor, right? I've got to break up what that master page is, and I don't have a way to reference back from my form, right, from my Blazor component into the layout and pass anything back and forth. I can pass things down into it, but I can't bring things back from inside of it. So it's an interesting problem. Yeah, voluntarily go into light mode because this hotel does not have very bright light. I literally have, I mean, I could turn the lights on at the bed. It's going to light up my background here, not going to light up my face. But that's not going to help. It does help the webcam image. Okay. All right. So, looking through this a little bit more, when I want to recommend to folks about how to take your master page and move it into a layout, you can do this, right, by breaking that master page into two pieces. Thank you for the follow, Marco. Smab says, think we need to build components that read and parse the master page, including the right bits at runtime. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather have folks take their master page and do that one-time conversion of copy the things out of here and place them appropriately into a layout. Right? You take everything from body up, these things, and put them over into your layout. Now, we have body here, which is kind of a razor thing. Is there a way to right in the razor templating, you could say render section and put sections somewhere. So I want to experiment here for a minute, chat room. Let me go over to that same folder here inside my code. Right, I should be able to say, where is it? Here, open folder in File Explorer. I'm going to copy that location and change directory into there. Let's see. I can .NET run from here. Yeah. Let me do a .NET watch run. So this is running, and as we're changing the project, it restarts for us. So we can tinker around, see if we can figure out, do something here to try and identify some steps and some recommendations we can give to folks who have master pages inside their project. So I'm going to end up going to this location. I can get rid of the Git branch documentation. So here's, right, a master page, and I'm going to show you what I did with counter in just a second here. But the question is, for my main layout, can I add another section, right? Can I say render section here? No, it doesn't look like it. Can I put a render fragment and specify another fragment here? Render handle, what's render? Well, right, and can I specify another section so that pages can have different sections that they pass around? Thank you for the follow. Is that Neosis 2? Thank you. How does Blazor handle scope of variables in master pages? Scope used to be shared. Typically they want it to be public so that you can reach into and pass around things. Team Smile TV, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. We're at, that's not the right number there. It says 94.99, but I'm seeing 94.95 up here. No, we're not quite there, Mason. The number on, well, unless the number on Twitch isn't updating as fast. I'll do the giveaway on one more follower, sure. There it is. You know what? I think that number's not the same because some folks just got banned. And I'm not sure about that last one. Twitch chat having a rough weekend. You're not wrong, Robert Tables. And SMAP, yes. We've got multiple master pages to handle as well. That's the thing. No, I'm not banning people to not have to do a giveaway. We had some bad operators in there. But yeah, we'll do the giveaway. Absolutely. So the question is, and let me see if I can just describe this. Is there a way with Blazor layout to do a render section? Right, that's what we used to do inside of Razor, right? You'd say render section and be able to specify a section here. No such feature is currently supported in Blazor. The Blazor team and the community have been discussing the necessity, but no avail. If you're looking for a temporary solution, Steve Anderson? Okay. How to pass parameter values from a Blazor component page to its layout. Yes, how do we do that? Because that's going to some of the things chat is saying. You really want to make me go get a new hat? I have other hats with me. Yeah, Steve Sanderson, not Steve Anderson. So there's got to be a way to pass some information back. To pass a render handler. Here we go. An MVC used viewBag in the layout to show the title based on the current page. There's no way to modify a property in a layout component from a page. Here's what I'm thinking, chat room.
Hey, listen.
Yes? Comic Sans time? Oh my goodness. Why didn't I get... Oh, I don't have that component on this layout. Alright, we want to go to Comic Sans. Yeah. We'll do the giveaway as well. I don't know why I don't have... I should have that notification popping up, but thank you for highlighting that. Let me grab my rewards queue. There we go. I still have a voiceover request from DJ Vortex. I'm waiting to get some text from him as to what the script should be. But yeah, we'll go to Comic Sans. Oh yes, it's been requested, Marcus. We will go to Comic Sans for 15 minutes. And I'm going to... Here's what I'm going to do. Let's do this. So I'm going to go to Comic Sans, and we're also going to schedule a giveaway. And I'll schedule the giveaway... I want to do the giveaway in about 15-20 minutes, because that's on the other side of 11 a.m. Eastern is when I hit when the viewership plateaus here on the channel. So let's do this. Remind me in 20 minutes to run the giveaway.
Okay, added.
Okay. And I will go over to here before I start writing any more code, because I want to look at passing the question of passing values back and forth, and we might be able to do that and get this render section to work. So we can write a little documentation around how that works. I am going to change my font, and we're going to Comic Sans as requested for 15 minutes. Because everybody loves Comic Sans in their code. Set a timer for 15 minutes.
Okay, your timer is set for 15 minutes.
Oh yes. Which digital assistant and phone am I using? This is an iPhone. So that would be Siri that I'm using. We got 15 minutes for Comic Sans. Now the idea of having a shared object, a cascading parameter that I could pass from layout to child, not foreign. And in fact, I'm doing a little bit of that over here inside of the sample component, counter component. So I actually created a second layout, and one layout can actually inherit from another layout, and layouts define where they're rendering their body content with this @body tag. So there's a variation of Comic Sans that comes with ligatures. Wow. Now I can pass values down into it with something like this and a cascading parameter. So I'll receive the count and pass it down, but it's an integer. So that's something you pass by value. What if we created some sort of a layout settings class? So we had a reference type, right? In .NET, there are reference types and value types. Value types are things like your typical numbers: integer, short, byte, long, boolean, character. These are value types. They live in a specific memory place. But a reference type, like a class or a string, they point to a collection of those things, and you end up passing references to those types. You end up passing those references around inside of your code. So what if we create a reference type here, and we create a property called the count, right? Start that with a default value. And what if from my second layout, thank you for the follow, Polyspastos, welcome. Nerd font patches, nice, okay. Available for all fonts and have patches for different ligatures. Neat. Yeah, when customers request Comic Sans. So, from within a component, you can specify what layout you want to override and use. So, we have that capability. Now, instead of receiving current count here like this, I can receive layout settings. Come here, you. Right? Control dot. You're not going to find that, are you? There we go. And let me call this not the count. Let's call this layout settings. And I'm just going to call this settings. So now, can we say settings dot the count plus plus? Because it's a reference type, is it going to pass that around and make this now settings the count? Do you see what I'm doing here, chat room? Does this make sense? Am I completely off my rocker? Because with this being a reference type, we might be able to circumvent this, right? So here, instead of that, we're going to do this. Let's just call this settings, like that. Data layout settings, and start this. No, there we go. Okay, so over here I can make this, and I should see the same value in my layout as I do in the child component. What is the proper number of hats to have, asks Marcus Voice Programmer. I'm over 75 in my collection. I have 6 with me here. So I'm starting with the C# hat here today. I have my Mandalorian hat, I have my blank hat, my Visual Studio hat, I've got a Twitch hat with me. Actually, the Twitch hat's over there. I was going to wear it, but I forgot I had this one. I forget the other ones I have, but I brought 6 hats. My rule of thumb is bring at least 1 hat for each day that I'm on the road for a conference. I've got a Penn State hat with me. So, So now let's see. This should have recompiled for me. Nope. Semicolon after method or what? After method or accessor block is not valid in counter razor. That should have been fine down there. Nope, it doesn't like. It doesn't like. Why don't you like that? That should be all right like that. Right? Recompile. Yeah. Why doesn't it like this semicolon? After method or accessor block is not valid. And it wants a semicolon. Oh, wait. That's in counter. Hang on. Over here. This one. My bad. Yes, that's a lot of hats, Robert Tables. Marco 8137 asks, which conference am I at? I'm here for the Svetug conference in Stockholm. So now if I refresh this and I go to the counter, so it's got 0 that it's passed down and it's not passing the value back out to the layout. You see that? But if I start my settings over here, if I set that to a value, let's see, this needs to recompile. We'll get it started again. Now it's the same value, so we can pass down from the layout, but I'm trying to figure out how to pass back up. Janescu has a link there for us. This might help on layout things. Blazor layouts. On site, docs, Microsoft, com. Blazor layouts. No, I don't want to be on. ASP.NET Core Blazor layouts. Yeah. Layout component base, body, default layout, right? I haven't talked about that, but that's okay. Specify the layout in the component, centralized layout, selection. Yeah. Nested layouts. I mentioned that. We've got that capability. Share Razor Pages layout with integrated components. Yeah, that's fine. But it's how do we pass values back and forth between the layout and the child page? The idea being we'd like the child page to be able to pass back a page title. Right? I would love for this to also include and be able to, inside of, see, I can't even reach up to the title. There is no way for me to access it from here, right? The title is there. I don't have a way to grab that value and set it, you know? Blazor doesn't have access to that part of the page because it's outside of the app tag. This feels like a thing that I can't do anything with right now. Some nice looking fonts for programming. I use Cascadia Code right now. Fira Code is really good, but Cascadia Code has really come a long way. It's taken over as my font of choice here. Right, so this is the component here. This is the layout, and you can see how I'm nested now. I don't have it's not passing the value back into the layout. That could be a problem. You should be able to do this, and we do this appropriately inside of inside of our components with child components, but crossing from a layout. Right, I don't see, unless inside of our layout. If we give it inside of our settings, we give it a way to say state has changed. Right? What if we did that? Can we set that up? So what if we did, right, what if we did this? Right, now this is completely hacking. This isn't something that I'm thinking is the greatest thing in the world here. So if we say the count equals value, right, and let's generate that field. So I have a get, I have a set. Right, now it's starting to feel a little bit like XAML, a little bit like WPF, because I'm going to say, right, state has changed, and I only want to do that if it's not null. So now from my layout, see, I don't know. Yeah, from my layout, can I do something like this? See, oh, I need to make this public, right? You think you can make layout view layout equals type of second layout? Status change seems to be the recommended option. Hey, Sushinator, good to see you. So if I make that public, can I say status changed equals this dot? See, I can't. Can I say base dot? No. What if? Can I put? Can we override on initialized? That doesn't look right. On initialized async. Can I say settings, right? State has changed equals state has changed. I may have to wrap that in an action, right? Do something like this, which is weird, right? But it might work. Hey, Flav, good to see you. Flav's another member of the live coders team. Make sure you check him out. Here we go. Refresh. Come on, load that page up. Is this not running? No, it's not running. Error. Code block is missing a closing where? On second layout Razor 27. Ah. Well, that'll do it. Let's see here. Zeb code. Could RX be used for something like this? I mean, you have to implement it everywhere, but it might not be worth it. Might be worth it for this project. I feel like we're building something that's a little reactive in. There we go. Look at that. Now we're talking. That's interesting. Now it works. Something reactive like embedding into our feature here could be worth it, yes. That's the end of our 15 minutes with Comic Sans. Thanks so much for the redemption. But I can code in Comic Sans with the best of them now. I'm going to go back to Cascadia Code, our preferred font here on stream. Fixed spacing, and it looks pretty good there. Yes, iPhone, absolutely. And Apple Watch as well. Sore throat and legs are hurting from exercising. Hey, you know what? It's good to be active, Gareth. I need to get exercising a little bit. Hiking around Stockholm over the past day was started to wear on me a little. Used to be an Apple fan. Sorry about that. Private void notify state changed, calling state changed dot invoke. So instead of making it like this, well, Sushinator, I'm not sure how you would set that up, because it's sitting over here inside the settings, right? So okay, that's kind of an interesting way to do it, but does the same thing. Okay. Yes, reload. Okay, that syntax is a little bit nicer. But this feels like an interesting way to work around not being able to pass data back to your layout. Is to have that settings as a cascading parameter that you can pass around. Is there a way that we should codify this, make it into a real object, wrap the layout, have our own layout that accommodates master pages and has this on initialized baked into the layout? What do you think, chat room? I'm a Danish. Nice. It's good to know that there are some folks out there who are pastries. I see what you did there. Asks, do I use ReSharper at all? Typically for the development that I do here live on stream and during my presentations that I give, I do not use ReSharper because I want to stay as close to stock Visual Studio as possible. There's a lot of things that ReSharper adds on that, while it makes you more productive, folks don't have access to when I'm giving samples and I'm trying to show how to do things. I want to show you the productivity things that are as close as what's in the default Visual Studio as possible, without saying, oh, well, in order to do this feature, you need to go out and install, you need to buy ReSharper. If I worked for JetBrains and I was trying to sell ReSharper, I would absolutely do that. But I'm not trying to sell ReSharper. I'm trying to make sure that you have a good coding experience. So I want to start there. So for my personal development, I used to use ReSharper all the time, but I don't personally use it anymore because I want to be in the mindset of as close to stock Visual Studio as possible. Just so that I'm comfortable with that and I don't have to go and relearn how to do things. ReSharper is, it can, it has its backers. And it's a tremendous piece of software. It really does a lot to make developers more productive. CodeRush, our friend CodeRush here on Twitch, Mark Miller, he has built and maintains CodeRush. That is a tremendous piece of software that does all the same things as ReSharper. Really, really great stuff. Marcus Voice Programmer is testing some voice commands. Oh, okay. Cool. Let's see here. You like all the input too. That's great. More power to you. If ReSharper works for you, I am not going to hold it against you. Because, yeah, it makes folks a lot more productive. So here's what I'm thinking. If we want to try and codify some of these capabilities here, can we put together a layout settings class and a default master layout page that does some of these things for you so that you could pass values back and forth to your layouts. Sushinator says, missing an important I gotta put that comment up on featured chat so folks can see. Don't have this channel points reward here. Need to be able to change keyboard layout to Swedish for 15 minutes. I would be so lost. Oh my gosh, I would be so lost.
Make it so.
No, we're not doing that. Okay? Because
It's illegal in 9 countries.
including Sweden. Kidding. Totally kidding. Okay? So,
Do it live!
no. Thank you for the suggestion. Robert Tables likes the idea, so continuing this spike concept for master pages, and I actually wrote a little bit of documentation to go with this. So let me go back into here and docs, and I wrote, yeah. And I'm using Visual Studio Code to show this because it has a really good presentation of the Markdown. So I started writing some Markdown for this about features not available in layout. I need some before and after samples. Pages cannot access information about our layout, but maybe if we have a master page layout base layout class and we implement this reference type container like we did over here, maybe we can make it possible then for you to pass things back and forth. You think this is pretty straightforward, especially with some docs. Robert Tables, thank you. That is, yes. I think you're right. With a little bit of docs, we can make this straightforward. And if I wrap this so that you can just say settings some value, and it goes and does the update, would be in really nice shape, I think. How do you interact with third-party web services? Do you need to use HTTP client? Ask Zepcode. Yes. Yes. That's right. John Skeet can. The Fritzbot has the answer here about all things John Skeet. Let me make sure I highlight that because it's important that you know, and we've had our friend John Skeet join us here on stream. He can stop an infinite loop just by thinking about it. It's true. It must be true because it came from the John Skeet facts. Yeah, from within Blazor you can access the HTTP object. So here's what I'm thinking. I like the documentation that I started here, and I like where I've started on this. Let's see if we can create a better component base that we can use to handle master pages here and make that happen. So the idea is to have settings state has changed and this on-initialized async, have that inside of a better master page for us. So I'm going to go down here to our components. So I'm back in the main project over here and scrolling down here. I'm going to add a class to this. And let's call this, I want to kind of cross the naming of a layout component base. So what if we call this master page layout base? Help me out here, chat room. me start with it, name that, and we can rename this. Kabazi, that's a very good question. Let me pin that and come back to that in a second. Here. Main layout base, no. I want to have it kind of give you the feeling that you're coming in from a master page and we're implementing some of the same features. Maybe even some of the same API then. If this layout component base, right? That's the base type. Yes. Right? And I should be able to override on initialized async. Right? Exactly, Sushinator. Have the main layout inherit from it. So then we can pass down settings into all of the layout pages and be able to interact into all the Razor components and be able to interact with those. You also got to have a meal with Scott Hanselman while he was in Milton Keynes. Did you say hi to him for me? My good buddy. Scott! Yeah. Conceptually, this sort of reminds Robert Tables of how React context is frequently used to share larger state concerns. Exactly.
Great Scott.
Him! Yeah, and having our layouts inherit from this so that you get that feature. Yes. So if we create another class to hold those settings, we call it master page settings. And if we make this inherit from I dictionary string object. Oh, you feeling this, chat room? I know you're feeling this. And we have then a private internal dictionary.
Oh my.
Right. We call this internal. And this is the actual dictionary that'll host the things.
And then?
We'll just delegate things to it. That's what. And then return internal keys. Right? Same thing with values. I'm skipping the indexer here. Return internal values. Count. Oh yeah. Return internal count. Is read only. I'm going to force a return of false on that. Because I don't want you to think this is read only. I'm going to skip the ads. Clear. Sure, I'll do this one real quick. Even though I know I'm going to have to update this. Contains return internal contains, and we're just delegating, right? Item, because that's a thing. Item dot key, right? Not contains key. No, contains. Just item. That should work, right? That's a thing. No. You make me sad. Fine, let's say contains key. Item dot key. And internal item dot key equals item dot value. Yeah. There we go. So contains key. Too many keystrokes. And the rest of these are a bunch of delegation. This one is just return internal, get enumerator, return internal, try get value, key, out, value. So these other ones we're modifying the this one, here's another one. We delegate. All right. Return internal. How you doing, Robert Tables? Haven't talked to you in a bit. Get enumerator. Right? That should work. Yep. Copy to. Sure. Internal. No. Copy to. Why don't you have copy to? That should be a thing. I don't care about that one. Contains key. This is an easy one, right? Internal contains key. Now, we need to actually set some of these things. Doing good, getting hyped for the big game, preparing for a conference talk. Friends, if you have conference talks you have to give, there is nothing like being over-prepared for it. Get over-prepared, practice that talk lots of times so that you're sure about exactly what it is that you're presenting. You know what I'm going to do now, though? I'm going to run a giveaway. We've hit 9,500 followers down there. That's a major milestone. That's not just a milestone. That's a major milestone. I don't have reverb that I can put on here. And last time we ran one from here, Rambling Geek.
Oh my.
Won something here. Won a Live Coder's backpack. I'm going to give away a Code Party hat for this one. Who wants to win a Code Party hat? This is going to be this is a signed hat that all of the Code Party team signed. Myself, Javier, Beth Massey, Javier Lozano, Beth Massey, John Galloway signed it. It could be yours. I have this is a small medium hat that's signed by everybody from the team. Exclamation point here will put you into. It's not picking up people here. Let me reconnect the chat. Make sure it gets in there. There we go. Get your name in for the giveaway. I should have the sound coming through on this. It's turned off for right now. Let me just make sure that I have that set up to come in. Yeah, that looks like it's going to come in. Should come in off of that. Let me make sure I have the sound going out to the appropriate location here, not to my speakers, out to the Elgato. There you go. Now you can hear it. Because I want you to be able to hear when this thing goes off. So we're going to send out a hat. It doesn't matter where you are. We're going to send this everywhere in the world. Exclamation point here. And the bot now dies. Yeah, right. The bot, for some reason, stops responding when it starts seeing the exclamation point here. It just chokes. So we'll have to restart. There it goes. All right. Now, you're not going to get the oh my here for a second. Try it again. Too many here's. For some reason, it chokes on that. It should be good. You need the hat. You want the hat. So it's a gray Code Party hat. You've seen me wear this hat before, but this one is signed by everybody on the Code Party team. Rambling Geek got the backpack with a whole bunch of buttons and things in it.
Oh my!
About a couple weeks ago. There we go. There's the oh my. Is that it? Everybody ready to go? Shall we do this? Let's give away a hat. You never get picked, Ashish? Today might be your lucky day. All set? No more? Everybody in? Let's do this. Here we go. Little E Blaster tried using it for school. Nice. All right. But that's not loud at all. Here we go. Yeah, the Mega Man music. 9,500 followers. Thank you so much. And we're going to send out to M. Jewel a Code Party hat. Thank you so much for participating. So close, Robert. The Robert Tables. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to drop you a quick line here. Thank you so much for participating. There we go. And I will send out the hat. There you go. Well done, M. Jewel. Thanks so much for participating. And every time we cross 100 followers, we're going to give away stickers and things here on channel.
You have just resubscribed for 20 months.
Johan! Thank you so much for the resub. Twitch Prime, 20 months, almost 2 years. Oh, thank you so much for the support, my friend. Really, really appreciate that. And we'll continue to make a donation to code.org. I've got about 15 minutes left here that I can work on. Where can you buy some stickers? I need to put those on the store just below me here. Let me get that. Let me work on that this week.
Faruings just resubscribed for 16 months. You're a butt, D.
Thank you so much, Fairy Wings, for that. For the resub. We're going to make another donation to code.org. I do have stickers, and I will put them on. If you want to buy some stickers, I need to put them in the store below. I will get that set up this weekend and make sure that happens. Speak of the devil, and she resubscribes. Fairy Wings, and she made this is the lanyard that she made that I wear to all the conferences that I go to now, so that it looks cool, and I've got my name tag on the bottom there. How's it going, Aaron Doss? Big hype, absolutely. I am not a butt, okay? It wasn't me. Hat time, yes, Kate's. So we will send out the hat. All right. Moving on, let's see if we can finish our little master page layout here that we were talking about. So if I have this, right, in order for me to emulate and receive and publish that things have changed so that our layout updates, I need to go and add that state has changed here. Kate, you are not wrong there. Lanyards are nerd bling. Yes, and Fairy makes really cool ones that are made from chain mail. Like, you can see all the little chain links in here. Get over to her channel, click the link to the store, and order one with your favorite colors, favorite design, really cool stuff that you can get from her, and you can watch her make it live on Twitch. Really cool stuff. So happy to be able to say that Fairy's a friend of mine, a friend of the channel. Yeah, thank you for the shout out, Robert Tables. Okay. And Robert Tables, do me a favor, drop me a line in Discord. There's something I want to catch up with you about offline. Something that I think you'll be interested in that we can get to. How's it going, Twitch Love? Hello, hello. It's weird, I've got 2 keyboards, 2 mice here, and working back and forth. Okay, I need to get that state has changed passed into this so that we can trigger it appropriately. Well, wait a sec. Yeah, so that we can trigger it appropriately back to the rest of the page. I should make this internal so that you can't call it from outside of here. So let's make this internal action. State has changed. Right, with a get set. All right. Was that a thing? Did that happen? Okay. And when this happens here, we want to trigger, right? So when you hit the indexer to get values out of this, we want to return internal, whatever the key is, right? And if you set something, we're going to say internal key, hey, key equals value, and we're going to say state has changed, invoke, so that we pass that information up that something changed inside of our collection, notify. And we're going to do the same thing down here with add, right? So we'll say internal add key value, and we'll do that same, state has changed, invoke, so that it's just doing its thing, right? Internal add item. Now see, I don't have item.key, item.value. Cool. And now do that same. I'm effectively notifying property has changed, right? So I can pass that information out. You're very welcome, Fairwings. The Bald-Bearded Builder is here, just like Robert Tables. The Bald-Bearded Builder is another member of the Live Coders team. Good to see you, my friend. Hello, hello. Something about a user table missing. No user table missing. You have to have your own event log happening, it looks like. If they care, can listen and do something. Yes. Is there an observable dictionary?
Mathicon just resubscribed for 3 months.
Matt the
Time
Icon.
founders.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for that resub. 3 months. That's going to put you into a red subscriber loyalty hat. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you tuning in. This would not work if I changed the property of an item in the dictionary. No. And a reload method would be a good idea. Is there an observable dictionary? I don't think. There might be one in a package somewhere that you can use. You're right. A way to call refresh on this would be good. Okay, copy 2. I don't have a thing for that. Remove though is going to change the state, right? So internal remove key and state has changed. Invoke. I should just copy that line so I can reuse it, right? Same deal here. And actually, this I should be able to just say remove item.key. Just have it delegate back one, right? Let's do this. If removed, this I don't mind putting on one line, right? Return removed. So that and do that. And I think we've got it. Okay. So this is our master page settings. So when we have this, and the idea of having a reload method here. Public void reload. State has changed. Invoke. So that you can't touch it from outside of it. So we are doing effectively Observable dictionary implementation, yes. Why don't I use expression body members for the read-only properties? I could have. No reason not to. Sure. Right. Meh. Sure. It makes the code a little bit shorter, but see, it's wrapping. At which point, does that make it better? No. It doesn't. It makes it shorter, easier to see. Right? The fact that it's just delegating some of these, okay, it does look a little bit better. Right? A little bit easier to see those. So, alright, I can live with those. Yeah. Alright. What programming language is this? Asks Cult of the Dead Cow User. This is C#. Fretia finds it clearer this way. Okay. Cool. So let me move this out somewhere else. Okay. So now I can have a public master page settings object here called settings and have this default to a new object. And I'm going to make this a cascading parameter called, I'm actually going to make it master page settings, so it's the same name as the type. And actually, I don't need to give it a name. It'll just carry it because it's the only type. Right? If I receive master page settings somewhere, it'll just be there. Okay. So over here, let's say settings dot state as changed equals state as changed. Can I just do, can I do that? Cool, let's do that. That's better. The properties with all those curly braces. Here, like this. Sure. Since it's just a private get. Makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more readable. Okay, I can buy that. Okay. All right. So this should be able to, I should be able to build this, and my test explorer should show that these things all build and test properly, right? Just run through a full test here. Pyrocat asks, I choose a time when you're not in Sweden to visit. Sorry. Rennie Tinkerdork, there is a squirrel command you can execute. Can I suggest a good book to learn C#? Go to the website. docs.microsoft.com/learn. There you go, there's a squirrel command. Not distracted at all. Kate's got to take off. Have a good one. Thanks so much for stopping in. There we go. So all my tests still pass, even though we've gone and added this yet. We haven't done anything to break it yet. We haven't integrated with anything yet. But I have now the ability to pass things into the settings collection from both the master page my master page layout and inside my component and get values back and forth across that boundary, I need to wrap that the render body I need to wrap as a cascading parameter, so the settings always flow from my layout. Is there something else that we can override there to kind of force that to happen? In build render tree? Maybe? Is there a way in here for me to say, oh, wait a sec, we need to get that thing. Come on now. Why doesn't it see this? You didn't get my using statement, did you? Still didn't get it. Why is that not placing that value up top? Now it did. That's kind of unreliable. I wonder what's going on there. Get frames. What's get frames? No. Can I easily host a web API inside a Blazor app in the same way you can host it in an MVC app? Asks Zebcode. No. Nope. Yeah, the hotel has really bad lighting here. Yeah, we're doing light theme because of that. How's it going, Zardy? Right, if there was a way that I could force... Adds a pencil frame representing an instruction to capture a reference to the parent component. That's interesting, but that's not what I need here. I want to be able to assigns the specific key value to the current element. I want to be able to force into this a cascading value. There's got to be a way to do that. But for right now, I can make this work. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is lit. You're not wrong at all. What I can do, I could write. Do I have enough time? I don't have enough time to write a unit test for this. I'm going to take that as a to-do item because I am out of time. I have someplace that I need to get to here for the event here in Stockholm. But I want to make sure that we wrap things up here, and we'll write a unit test around this next time. Maybe I'll even do it offline and get it back in here. So let's take a quick look at the files that we updated here. And in our master pages sample, we're going to need to update that as well. Gosh. Let me add all the files here that we modified. Started work on a master page layout that will more closely emulate a master page. And I don't want to get this all the way done. I just want to get this done enough that we can say we have a concept for a master page. This is something we can use. We didn't get to the second half of what we wanted to do today as far as embedding a Blazor WebAssembly inside of WebForms. But I think we've hit something very interesting here where we're actually going to start to emulate how a master page interacts with the page by having a settings object that we can pass things through and get values back into the master page. That's going to be valuable for us to be able to give folks that ability. It won't be the same API as they have, but it'll get it close to it. Maybe we can figure out a little more there along the way. So, I will open an issue here with kind of this to-do list of the things that we want to finish, right? We need to unit test our new master page layout, and we'd like to automatically add context, add the cascading parameter for the settings, to our pages. We need to then receive the master page settings in our base WebForms component. Oh man, that's going to be really good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This was really great. I'm so happy that you can join me here in Stockholm, in Sweden, for this. Let me set up. Let me get our... Where's the theme music here? Let me get the... There we go. Let me get a raid set up so we can see who's going on, who's out there that we can raid. I know we would normally raid our friend Suze Hinton here on this Sunday morning. She's the no-op cat, but you know what? She hasn't started streaming yet today, so I can't raid her. So let's see, who else is streaming over here on Twitch? We can set up a raid. Thank you for the follow. Yes, I don't want to hear your nonsense. Thank you. You know what? Let's raid. Here's another live coder that's broadcasting right now. Let's raid Shale Codes. Say hello to her. We will set up the raid call, and we're going to raid Shale Codes. Copy out that text. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're going to follow us along here, right here, if you're a subscriber, copy that line out. If you're not a subscriber, copy that line. Put it on your clipboard so we can go over and we can say hello to Shale Codes. She's another member of the Live Coders team, writing code live on Twitch here this morning. I've got to run. I've got an event here in Stockholm. I'm going to be back tomorrow again at this time, but I'm going to be over at the conference broadcasting. We're going to try and have a guest with us as well. Let's see what happens. Well, everything's up in the air. Keep an ear on my Twitter. Keep an eye on the Twitch here. I'll update the schedule just below with more information when we know more. Take care and say hello to Shale Codes for me. See ya.